Inside NASA's sterile clean room, bacteria were thriving. Not just surviving, thriving. 26 unknown species living on the spacecraft destined to explore Mars. The discovery came in 2013, but the story began years earlier. In 2007, engineers at NASA's Kennedy Space Center and the European Space Agency were assembling the Phoenix Mars lander, a robot designed to search for ancient microbial life on the surface of Mars itself. Before it could hunt for life elsewhere, this lander first had to be built and prepared, sterilized. Not just cleaned, but sterilized to standards that seem almost impossible to achieve. Every surface was treated with disinfectants. Every component was subjected to extreme heat and radiation. The entire clean room, where technicians worked in protective gear, was maintained at levels that would make most hospital operating theaters look like a swamp by comparison. These aren't spaces where bacteria casually drift. They're engineered to be dead, hostile, entirely barren. The idea is simple. If you send a spacecraft to another world contaminated with Earth microbes, you've just seeded that world with alien life. You've destroyed any chance of discovering whether life actually exists there naturally. You've made science impossible. So NASA spends millions maintaining clean rooms at standards that seem paranoid, because they have to be. During the final stages of assembly in 2007, before the lander shipped out, technicians collected samples from the clean room walls. Routine work. Standard procedure. A final check that everything was as sterile as it needed to be. The samples went to the lab. The results came back, and everything changed. 26 bacterial species. All previously unknown to science. All living in the one place they absolutely should not exist. But what made these bacteria truly strange wasn't simply that they existed, it was what they could do. These weren't ordinary microbes that had drifted in from outside air or hitched a ride on an engineer's skin. Every single one of the 26 species carried specialized genes adaptations that seemed almost engineered for survival in this specific environment. They could resist the chemical disinfectants NASA deployed with precision and force, bleach, hydrogen peroxide, alcohol solutions, the same chemicals that should have annihilated them in seconds. But these bacteria possess genes that activated detoxification pathways, breaking down the poisons before they could kill. They could repair their own DNA when radiation damage threatened to unravel their genetic code. They could form hard, dormant shells called spores, crystalline protective structures that could withstand extreme heat, extreme cold, and complete desiccation. Some species secreted biofilms, thick slime layers that adhered to stainless steel surfaces like armor, creating microhabitats within themselves. The clean room wasn't just a place these bacteria could survive, it was a fortress perfectly matched to their biology. It was in every meaningful sense their engineered home. The researchers leading the investigation, Parag Vaishampayan at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and Christine Moisel-Eichinger from the University of Regensburg, collected samples not just from Kennedy Space Center, but from another facility thousands of miles away, the European Space Agency's launch site in Kourou, French Guiana. The same bacteria appeared in both locations. Different continents, different buildings, different supply chains, and yet the same species? This wasn't contamination from a single source. This wasn't a mistake or equipment failure. These microbes had adapted globally. They had evolved across entire continents to survive the relentless selective pressure of sterilization protocols. For over a decade, this finding remained mostly contained within the scientific community. Concerning, yes, a genuine planetary protection challenge that NASA acknowledged and monitored, but it seemed manageable. The contamination was localized, procedures were adjusted, life went on. Until 2025, when a microbiologist named Madhan Tirumalai at the University of Houston made a discovery that changed everything. One of those original bacteria, a species called Tersicoccus phoenicis, could do something no one had anticipated. It didn't merely resist disinfection, it played dead. When exposed to the antimicrobial chemicals meant to sterilize the clean room, the bacterium entered dormancy. It shut down its metabolism. It retracted into itself. It became inert, a ghost. And then, after the chemical storm passed, after the cleaning cycle ended and the disinfectant evaporated away, it would wake up. It would resume reproducing as if nothing had happened. It would begin colonizing the freshly sterilized surfaces. This wasn't luck. This wasn't a bacterial cell surviving by accident or by a single fortuitous mutation. The organism had evolved an active strategy, the ability to sense danger, to shut down its vital functions, to wait in darkness for days or weeks, and to resurrect. This was sophistication. This was a level of adaptation that transcended anything NASA's protocols had anticipated. The implications cascaded outward. NASA's entire planetary protection framework, the regulations, the procedures, the assumptions that govern how spacecraft are sterilized, rests on a single belief, that sterilization works, that you can subject a spacecraft to such intense chemical and physical treatment that only the most resistant microbes could survive. And then you add margins. You build in safety factors. You proceed assuming that whatever does survive will be so damaged it won't reproduce. But these bacteria violated that logic. They had evolved mechanisms specifically calibrated to evade the technology designed to kill them. They had learned to anticipate the cycle, to sense the approach of sterilization, to enter dormancy, and to wait it out. If a rover carrying Tersicoccus phoenicis landed on Mars and the bacterium awakened in that alien environment, searching humanity would face an impossible dilemma. If microbial life was later discovered on Mars, how would anyone prove it originated there? How would you distinguish between life that evolved over billions of years and contamination that arrived on a single spacecraft? The contamination would become indistinguishable from the planet's biological record. It would become essentially part of Mars. The question now isn't whether contamination can happen. It's whether we'll ever know if it already has.